Come on inside Rupp Arena, where tonight the Wildcats get their final preseason tune-up against the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds in the third edition of the Unity Series, promoting the missions of historically black colleges and universities. Here at K-Woods Court, I'm Darren Hedrick alongside the two-time champion Cameron Mills. And Cameron, when you look at what Kentucky would like to do tonight, going back to that Georgetown game, a lot of talk about these outstanding freshmen, the #1 class, but it was the veterans they relied on against a really good Georgetown club.
And how exciting it is to have not just one veteran, but more than one. And you look at the stats right here, Mitchell, Reeves, and Thiero. So three guys with 50 of our points, shooting 63% from the field between the three of them. And then back to the freshmen, 42 points, which, hey, that's not bad, but only 38% from the field. Look, they're freshmen. They got a long way to go, as talented as they are, but they got a whole season to get there.
It's a similar starting lineup for Kentucky that they had against Georgetown, as everyone breaks the huddles and we get ready to go. There you see Justin Edwards, one of those outstanding freshmen, the #3 prospect as rated by ESPN. And we are ready to go with Kentucky's second and final exhibition game against the Thoroughbreds, a Division II club out of the SIAC. Let's get this party started. Tyson Brooks for the Thoroughbreds, and Trey Mitchell in the center circle. Opening tip controlled by Kentucky State. Here's the starting five for the Thoroughbreds. Brandon Hill, LeVar Miller Jr., Josiah Mitchell, Tyson Brooks, Joseph Owens.
Really, you see Kentucky extending that half-court defense.
This is a Kentucky team, Cameron, that's going to have a lot of length to it when they get those bigs back, but for now these guards have got to play big.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. Got to get active hands, as you see right there.
And Reeves on the drive. That was Justin Edwards to clean it up.
Great job by Edwards, just to follow that shot and not assume his teammate was going to make it.
Starting five for Kentucky: Edwards, Thiero, Mitchell, Reeves, and Wagner. You know, talking about Justin Edwards along with DJ Wagner, these are two guys that Coach Calipari would like to see settle into a groove and get going tonight. Yeah, absolutely, especially after the Georgetown game. Really, all the freshmen just settle in exactly right. Here's Wagner.
I say again, that's a shot I don't think Cal wants to take, because it's a contested three and we didn't run much of our offense. But again, that's something we've got to learn.
He really emphasized in shoot-around today that he wants Kentucky to attack that rim offensively tonight. There's another three-pointer. That one's good by Josiah Mitchell to put the Thoroughbreds in front. Let's take a look, Cameron, at your keys to the game tonight for the Wildcats.
Well, because we've got so many freshmen and so many even new players to Kentucky, learn from every possession. Learn each other, learn the offense, learn the defense. Even in exhibition games and regular season games. Focus on defense, both individually and team, and talk. There needs to be chatter on both ends of this court. If Rupp Arena gets silent, then we better hear those five guys in white talking.
Justin Edwards with another bucket. He's got 4 points early. Three out front, rattles out. That was Tyson Brooks on the shot. Edwards on the attack and kisses one off the glass. He's got all 6 of Kentucky's points.
And how do you get it? We haven't had a three yet. Had a three attempt, but no three yet. Everything's been in the paint.
Coach Calipari talked about some of the lessons he wanted his team to take from the game against Georgetown. One of those was being the aggressor and being on the attack, and we're seeing that from Edwards. Nice screen out front, and the three is good for Miller. A little elevator ride for the open tray.
It's always the way it happens. Teams will come into Rupp and just shoot lights out.
Wagner down the lane. There's Mitchell underneath for the dunk.
Great look by Wagner. Great penetration. Get in there and find the big man once the defense collapsed on him.
Mitchell, 92 career starts at West Virginia, averaging nearly 14 points with the Mountaineers. He's been described as the connector to the offense for Kentucky. Excellent passer. Nice hands there by Wagner, almost got that one.
And also looked like he kind of maybe jammed a finger on that one too.
Look at all the traffic in the white jerseys on that drive.
Well, and I have my eye on DJ. DJ, look, he's holding that hand like he may have jammed a finger, but if you watched him on the weak side defense, he was moving again with purpose, both backward baseline and back up to the 3 to guard the offside or the weak side.
Cats on the attack again with a 2-point lead. Mitchell out front. Right corner, Edwards on the baseline drive.
And you talk about Trey Mitchell's passing. That was a great skip pass.
8 points for Edwards. Mitchell being tall in the lane with the denial, and now Kentucky's on the run. Reeves to the glass, and Edwards with the finish.
It didn't look like a couple guys who this is their first year playing together, but it was 2 guys who this is their first year playing together.
Justin Edwards 5 for 5 from the floor to open it up. Mitchell. And work it underneath. A nice job of staying with the play by Joseph Owens. So Kentucky out to an early 4-point lead thanks to Justin Edwards. It's not a far ride for Kentucky State down to Rupp Arena, just 24 miles from Frankfort. As part of the Unity Series, Kentucky facing the Thoroughbreds this year. And of course, the Thoroughbreds, one of the oldest HBCUs, established in 1886. There you see Dr. Jamal Jackson in his 8th season as the head coach, 65 wins. And champion, he has really cultivated a strong program there. When you think about high-powered attacks, they averaged 80 points last year and were first among Division II schools with nearly 240 three-pointers made. But this is a historic program with 3 national titles, and Coach Jackson's got his team playing well, especially last year offensively.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, this is a brand new team, and yet they are off to a decent start here against Kentucky, hitting threes. I think just about all of them but 1 contested. Yeah,
they're already 2 of 3 from beyond the arc. Of course, Justin Edwards with the early volley for Kentucky. Just a flurry of offense from Edwards, the freshman out of Philadelphia. 10 points on 5 of 5 shooting. Got a free throw out of the timeout as Owens was fouled on the score. It's a foul on Trey Mitchell, his first.
Every single one of Kentucky's points have come in the paint.
That's what Coach Calipari wanted to see tonight. And talking about the Thoroughbreds a little more and their stats from last year, we'll see how this roster shakes out for Coach Jackson this year, because he's got 5 returners and 9 newcomers, very similar to Kentucky.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, it's so exciting for coaches to have that, and also frustrating at the same time. Do a lot more coaching when you got teams like that.
Here's Mitchell, back to Edwards. Nice pursuit by the Wildcats. Wagner in the corner. And the Cats have Rob Dillingham, the freshman from Hickory, North Carolina, in the game now. Here's Edwards underneath, and that time the Thoroughbreds were ready for him.
I do like the way Edwards, though, went up strong. He went up to dunk it again. Just got it poked out of his hands. Love the way we're denying the entry pass here, making it hard for Kentucky State to get into their offense.
And again, Wagner sticks that paw out trying to get the basketball. It's hard to appreciate the length and size of this Kentucky team, even without the 3 bigs.
Because of the quick hands, and we got quick hands all over, from 1 to 3, even with the bigs. When we get them, these are guys that have quick hands and good hands. One of them just checking in, Reed Sheppard.
Yep. Freshman from London, Kentucky. He comes in for Thiero. Josh Cross into the game for Kentucky State. Here's Miller out front, and a lot of pressure being applied by these freshmen. That hits the side of the backboard. Mitchell with a nice rebound. Hard-fought rebound. Sheppard dishing. Wagner to the rim, and the flash-by runner got it.
That's a little Euro step it looked like in there, right around his defender.
Leaned into that one. Burks trying to get baseline on Mitchell, had to go tall, left it short because of that length, and Edwards then collides at half court. That was Mitchell on the collision as we go back to the last bucket here.
Now back in my day, that would have been a walk, but these days, it's not. But I'm not bitter about that. The number of times I got yelled at for taking one or two more extra steps.
Just need more air.
I just needed to play in this era.
Freshman for Kentucky on full display right now. Mitchell off the lob.
Love that play. Run DJ Wagner off the screen. Trey sets the screen and then runs to the basket for the lob.
Cats active. Wagner came up with the steal, and afterwards the hard foul. Let's take another look at the alley-oop.
Watch Trey rotate. Gets a double screen from Antonio. Screen the screener kind of thing. Trey gets down to the basket and gets the lob.
Cats have made 8 shots on 11 attempts, already with 5 assists. That's something Coach Calipari's got to love. There's Dillingham. Rebound controlled by Miller. There's transition 3 that's no good. A try from Khalif Crawley. And a lob in transition leads to the lay-in for Wagner. Another brilliant pass.
Dillingham and Wagner, they locked eyes about 3/4 court to go, and they knew that was coming. Great pass by Dillingham.
The message seems to have taken for this young club. There's a 3, no good off the right by Cross. Cats are on the run again. Dillingham to the rim.
And this is going to be what Kentucky's going to do a lot this year. Get up and down the court. We mentioned Coach Cal asking for aggressiveness, and we're seeing it not just in the half court, but in the full court as well.
One of the other things, too, is keeping the ball moving. Don't let it stick. Here's another turnover thanks to the Kentucky defense and pressure. Edwards spins. They work it out to Wagner for the open look. Got it!
Great passing that time. Unselfishness, find the open man, make the extra pass.
It'll be a timeout for Kentucky State as the Cats have gone on an 11-0 run in the last 2 minutes to really explode the lead out to 23-9. And let's go take a look at this last play and how it was set up.
Just again, every time you get penetration, you get the defense collapsing. One extra pass to the corner, and then another extra pass to the open man. Anytime you get an open man, somebody's got to cover. That leaves somebody else open, and the ball's going to travel faster than anybody on foot.
You always hear coaches talk about one extra pass, and that's what that led to.
Absolutely.
So Justin Edwards had an incredible start to tonight. He really set the tone early.
Well, and he did everything Cal asked him to do. The team as well. You see Trey giving a nice little dish off to Justin that time, but Justin attacked the glass. We had one bad 3 early on. Everything else has been in the paint, attacking the glass and being aggressive. But it's not also just been Justin Edwards on offense. It's been Justin and the team on defense. Active hands constantly, leading to quite a few turnovers so far.
Yeah, 3 steals for Kentucky so far, and those are all the turnovers for Kentucky State. But Edwards, as you mentioned, not just making layups and hitting shots, he's also got 4 rebounds.
And if we counted deflections as an official stat, we'd probably have about 10 of those, because there have been a few that bounced out of bounds if we've got our hands on them.
Jordan Burks, a freshman from Decatur, Alabama, is in out of the timeout, and Thiero is in there to tie up the basketball under the rack. So possession to Kentucky. Reeves back in the game. Dillingham off to Sheppard. Sheppard in the paint. Swing it back to Reeves for the look. No. Rebound controlled by Crawley.
Only one man going to the paint that time for the Cats, and that was Thiero.
Ball might have been partially deflected by Thiero from the free throw line. Here's Kentucky again. Dillingham carving his way. can't get the runner to fall into traffic, and the Thoroughbreds come out on the other end. Just nearly a nice pass. Dillingham finds Thiero cutting to the lane, and he's fouled on the dunk attempt. Kentucky and Kentucky State as part of the Unity Series. They're honoring 2 legends. We'll tell you about one of them when we come back. Well, as part of the Unity Series, the 3rd edition of the University of Kentucky Unity Series, tonight taking on the Kentucky State Thoroughbreds. We're pleased to be joined by a special guest here in just a moment. As you see, Kentucky has a 23-9 lead on the Thoroughbreds, just about halfway through this first half. The Wildcats honored 2 legends along with Kentucky State, and the 2 legends were able to have dinner with both teams and speak to both teams, and we are pleased to have one of those legends joining us courtside now as George Raveling joins us, a Naismith Hall of Famer. And Coach, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for taking some time with us.
It's always a thrill to be down here in Big Blue Nation, man. I remember in my younger days, when I was assistant coach in Villanova, I used to listen to the Kentucky games on the road. I was driving through the mountains recruiting and that. And actually, to be honest with you, when I was assistant coach, I was a Kentucky fan listening to K-Wood.
Well, and you were a player at Villanova. You had a coaching career, the first African-American coach in the Pac-8. You've also been with Team USA. I can imagine just a storied career and a blessed one at that.
Yeah, and the national team, C.M. Newton and I were assistant coaches to Bob Knight. The late Bob Knight, as you know, just died. Well, C.M. and I were Bob's assistants on that '84 Olympic gold medal team. And so I got to know CM well over the years, and he was responsible for me coaching 3 or 4 of the United States national teams over the years. CM and I became very close personal friends. I don't know a better human being that I ever met than CM Newton.
Coach, you mentioned earlier on the radio broadcast, you mentioned about, and this is one of the most amazing things, but the story about getting the original speech of the I Have a Dream by Dr. Martin Luther King on the March on Washington. I don't know if you can tell that quickly or not, because it's such an amazing story.
Well, I was working, and so because of airtime, I was working as an
well done, sir. The veteran right here.
I was working as a security guard, and I was right next to the podium when Dr. King finished the speech, and I don't know why, but I did it. I just said, Dr. King, can I have that copy? He had folded it, and he said, and he just turned and handed it to me, and that quick it was over. Little did I know that 50 years later it'd be one of the top 3 speeches of all time. The interesting part, if you look at the original copy of the speech, the I Have a Dream part was not originally in the speech. The speech had no title. And then he ad-libbed that part in, and that became the most famous part of the speech.
So amazing.
Can I ask, with knowing how much that speech means to this country, how often do you just get it out and hold it and look at it?
Well, a couple things. I gave it to Villanova, my alma mater, but part of the agreement was that it was to be on exhibit for the next 12 years at the African American Museum, and so that's where it is right now. It's at the African American Museum, where people can actually see the document up close.
You got to talk to the team a little bit last night. Both teams last night. What was to you the most important thing that you got to share? You wanted to share?
I talked to the players about being good teammates. And being great teammates, and then I got a conversation going about what do you think it takes to be a great teammate, and I also reminded them it's not your teammates are not just your fellow players. How about your managers, the trainers? All these people are part of this great group of the organization that make UK basketball special. And Kentucky State basketball special.
Visiting with George Raveling, who is one of the legends honored by Kentucky and Kentucky State as part of the Unity Series. The team's playing right now, and we're seeing a lot of talented young freshmen on the floor for Kentucky, and a special opportunity for Kentucky State's players to be here at Rupp tonight. You mentioned off the top, you were saying that you used to listen to some Kaywood Ledford, you know C.M. Newton. What are some other connections that bring you to Kentucky?
Well, my friendship with Calipari, John and I have known each other and been good friends for over 40 years. We've kind of traveled the same road, working camps, doing lectures, trying to make ourselves better human beings and better coaches, and trying to share our lives with other people, help other people live better lives. And Cal has been doing an amazing job in the communities. That's the one thing that I like about Kentucky's program. Their players make themselves visible. They want to give back to the state. They want to give back to the community. A game like this, to me, is a historic moment. You have an all-black institution from the state of Kentucky playing the Big Blue. And we're actually witnessing history right now as these players go up and down the floor. I've been somewhat surprised that Kentucky State has been playing with a lot of confidence. Obviously, they don't have the talent, but they've been playing with a lot of confidence.
Well, I was in the hall as they were coming out to warm up, and I can tell you they weren't intimidated by the arena. They weren't intimidated by Kentucky. They're here to try to win.
Yes, and this is a tough place to play. I sat over there thinking about how much history is in this building over the years. I got a chance to know Coach Rupp in my early coaching days and that, and when they used to call him the man in the brown suit, and that. And I have a lot of friends. I played in the East-West All-Star game with Dan Issel. Pat Riley and I have a really good friendship going on. So I know a lot of UK grads, and you guys have so much to be proud of when it comes to the game of basketball, and some of the most historic moments in basketball, UK's fingerprints are on.
Let me ask you what it was like when you had a chance to coach with Team USA. What was that like to be around some of the best athletes that played in the U.S. and represented the country? One
of the things that jumped out at me immediately, no matter how great the players were, they want to be coached. They want to be taught. For example, Michael Jordan was you would have thought he'd been difficult to coach. He wanted to be coached. The great players want to be coached. They want you to help them reach their outer limits as a player.
Chatting with George Raveling, Naismith Hall of Famer in 2015, and it looks like we're about to take another timeout here in the first half. Cats are up 31-14. Coach, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you. Best wishes for a great season for you guys.
Thank you, Coach.
A 17-2 run has helped Kentucky build a 31-14 advantage as we're under 8 minutes to play in the first half. And the Wildcats have gotten it done with those freshmen, but there's not just highly talented freshmen on this team. There's some legacy guys, as you see on your screen. Coach Calipari is coaching the sons of players he coached.
When you know you've been in ball a long time. Reed Sheppard, of course, not only his dad, Jeff Sheppard, played 93, to the 98 two national championships and the 98 most outstanding player in the Final Four. But his mom, Stacy Reed, played here at Kentucky too, at Thiero, as well as DJ Wagner, whose dad and granddad played D1 college basketball. One of them, granddad, right up the road in Louisville.
Yeah, Thiero and Wagner's dads played for Coach Calipari at Memphis. DJ Wagner's got 7 points tonight. It was great to talk with Coach Raveling in that last segment. As you and I were talking off the air, there's so many things in his storied career that we could have touched on, and we just It's one of those things, we're time limited.
I loved his comment, too,
Yes.
when I asked him about the script of the I Have a Dream speech, because it could be a long story.
Yeah.
And absolutely deserves to be one. But for our sake, he shortened it down.
I mean, to have a document of that magnitude, I mean, that's
And then to loan it.
Yeah.
Now to your alma mater. I
Sure.
get that.
And it's well protected and
I'm sure.
preserved. And
A lot of these Kentucky fans around here have their big blue rooms. Coach Raveling has an I Have a Dream room, I'm sure.
Here's Wagner. Dillingham out front wants it. Thoroughbred's unable to get a clean rebound.
Yeah, and all caused by Thiero, though, because not only he couldn't get 2 hands on the ball, which Coach Cal preaches nonstop, as do most great coaches, but to do at least got a hand on the ball to tip it against the backboard and then off a Kentucky State player. Kentucky retains the possession.
There's Dillingham. Dishing to Mitchell at the logo. Dillingham again. And Thiero through the contact, but
Extra pass.
Yep.
I mean, that's the fun thing about watching these guys play. We're not even in the season yet. This is still exhibition, and you're seeing such unselfishness from these guys. I got a chance to sit down with all 15 of them before the season started for about 15 to 20 minutes each. And I'll tell you, the thing they talked about the most was simply, we're a team. We're a team. We love each other. We do things together. We're on and off the court. This has already become a team, and we care about each other. And to hear them talk like that at the beginning of the season kind of leads you to believe something special might happen at the end.
Foul was on Owens, his first. Yeah, you talk about your interviews. You guys even told some fishing stories.
Coach Orlando Antigua apparently has a pond close to his house that the guys started utilizing just to take a little break from basketball and go fishing. Apparently it's become something all of them are starting to do just to get away from the game a little bit.
I just liked how you prefaced the question to them by saying you can't say video games. What do you enjoy doing?
Nobody over the age of 35 wants to hear what video game they enjoy playing. Of course, back when I played, there weren't really video games. You had to find another way to bond.
You had Atari.
All right, now you're putting me way back, Mr. 80s.
Again, a hand in the face of the shooter. Dillingham with the athleticism to stay with that play. Here's Wagner. Got it!
And that's the 3 that they'll take from anybody on this team. Ball reversal, quick skip pass, open 3.
10 points for Wagner. He's got both of Kentucky's 3s in this first half. I just liked how, did you notice the poise of Dillingham with the trap on him?
Yeah, absolutely. 2 guys on him, and he kept fighting and stepping through, finding the open man.
Thiero steps in front of a pass, and here he comes. Shine the spotlight!
Pink shoes and all, he elevates. The deflection, the steal, the dunk. It wasn't just down on the offensive end. He got it done on the defensive first and rewarded himself.
Ball left side, no good. That was Hill on the shot, Brandon Hill. Boy, the Cats really pressing the tempo. Here's Reeves. Yes, sir.
A lot of teams just press off those made and missed baskets. Cats are running as much as they possibly can. And again, a 3 we will take. Penetration, open look.
They had a 17-2 run. Now it's a 17-3 run. So 2 separate lengthy runs for Kentucky. Thoroughbred's trying to make something happen. Kentucky just gets a hand in every lane and a hand in the shooter. They altered that shot. Thiero, a little too much there, saved by Reeves. No look past Thiero.
Thiero tried to follow the shot just a little bit too late.
Nice floater by Mitchell.
Also, just give credit DJ Wagner, just a quick
Well, Kentucky has been showcasing the last couple of trips up and down the floor, showcasing that offense. Here you go.
Another deflection leads to the steal and the jam by Thiero. Quick penetration, defense collapse, kick out for the three. Basketball is just an easy game when you play it right, Darren.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, it's not that complicated.
And you notice a lot of these highlights we keep showing you, these recaps, as Kentucky's got a 16-0 advantage on fast breaks. The offense is flowing because of the intensity on defense.
I'm glad you brought that up, because this is a different team defensively than we saw against Georgetown. I mean, they are playing with urgency, not only offensively, we've seen that, but defensively, they are talking. I mean, they are active with their hands. They're active on the weak side. They are helping each other, and just it looks, in what, a few days, they look like a different team defensively. And you could say, okay, well, maybe that's the competition. Intensity on defense doesn't matter who you're playing. That's what you want as a coach.
So you've got Kentucky trying to get their team acclimated. They had the advantage of going to Toronto this past summer and playing some games. They've also had the blue-white scrimmage and the exhibition with Georgetown, and Kentucky State is also trying to mesh a roster of a lot of newcomers tonight. Mitchell finds Dillingham. Kentucky will keep possession.
See what Kentucky puts together here underneath, out of bounds.
Sheppard to throw it in. Here's Wagner all the way.
Went up on the wrong foot, dunked with the left hand.
That got the bench going too. Even the Kentucky bench is bringing the energy tonight. Mitchell with the miss, Kentucky the board. Dillingham going to the rim.
Probably should have been an and one on that one as well. Kentucky finding its groove.
Cats with a 46-16 lead. Contact there. So DJ Wagner got the bench on their feet in the crowd here at Rupp. Finishing with authority, Kentucky leads by 20. Cats are rocking and rolling so far in their second exhibition game tonight, leading Kentucky State 46-16. And we had a chance to speak with George Raveling, one of two legends that Kentucky and Kentucky State brought to speak with the teams last night. And P.J. Peoples is the other one. And here is some of the comments he made to the team at last night's dinner.
Think about what the sacrifices that people made in your family to get you to where you are. All of you guys are high achievers, and you owe it to your families to give back to them.
And there you see just some of the things that this champion for the underprivileged in Lexington and their surrounding area has done. At 22 years of age, he was the director of Lexington's Urban League, and he had a chance to talk with the Cats last night. Just an amazing person and leader.
I love this Unity series for that reason. They bring in two people who have made such a huge difference for African Americans in the past, in the present, obviously, and but to have that dinner with Mr. Peoples as well as Coach Raveling and let them talk to these guys, because look, when you've got two guys with that kind of resume,
yeah,
talking to a group of men, if you see the videos, they are full attention to what those two gentlemen had to say last night.
And his message to the players for both schools was to give back, and that's something we see out of Coach Calipari's program. Even Coach Raveling brought that up, the amount of give back to the community this program.
Absolutely. The other thing I love Coach Raveling brought up was simply talking about the team is the managers. It's the support staff. It's all those other people. It's not just the ones that wear the uniforms.
Well, so far tonight, the two young men that the coaching staff wanted to see get going have done so. There's a shot clock violation thanks to the defense by Jordan Burks. But Justin Edwards and DJ Wagner have combined for 22 points.
You see, again, there's an example of DJ kind of getting in the flow, but going one-on-one when maybe we need to get back in the offense. His shots will come. His penetration abilities or possibilities will come as well, but the offense needs to move, the ball needs to move and set those up. Kentucky
with 13 assists on 19 made baskets so far in the first half. They're shooting 59%. Feels like the field goal percentage goes up when the assist numbers are up.
There's probably a stat that proves that.
Miller out front, lets it go. And the rebound by Wagner. Nice job on the adjustment by Sheppard. No look down low to Burks for the flush.
Reed Sheppard, of all the great attributes you've got, he's got great hands, great shooter, great ball handler, but he sees the court like no one I've ever seen. Far better than his dad.
It's like a quarterback looking the safety off before hitting the bomb that he was looking for.
The moment he caught it, he kind of even raised the ball above, didn't let the Kentucky State player grab it, and then he knew he had a player down in white underneath the goal. Might not have even known who it was, but he got it to him.
Edwards pulls down another rebound. He's got 5 of them. Sheppard finds Reeves. Here's Burks. Out to Edwards.
Speaking of intensity on the Kentucky end, Kentucky State's up their defensive intensity here the last few possessions as well.
Wagner 5 to shoot. Reeves trying to make something happen with that right-hander. Nice job that time by Mitchell.
And here's the thing now, Kentucky State, just a little bit of a run, but a couple, bad possessions by Kentucky. Just because you're up this many points, you still got to play all 40 minutes.
Reeves. That one off the mark. Nice dish pass. And that leads to a couple of free throws for Daughtry.
So you see how it kind of builds on itself, right? Bad couple possessions, now a bad couple. Kentucky State gets a run out, bad couple of defensive stands as well.
And you see the assisted turnover in the distribution tonight for Kentucky in this first half. 32 paint points, and it's opened up the outside. Kentucky has made 3 threes. But you have to love that 14-0 on the assisted turnover. This is Jalen Daughtry, a junior from Detroit, shooting.
It's one of those things that coaches used to talk about all the time, still do obviously, but the ones I had talked about that assisted turnover ratio specifically for the point guard and wanted a 3-to-1. 3-to-1, that was the key. Some of Cal's point guards, I mean, you're talking 6-to-1, 8-to-1, 11-to-1. I can think of one that's sitting over there on the bench right now named Tyler Eulis.
Shooting into the eruption zone cannot be fun for the opposing teams here at Rupp Arena. 48-19 Cats. Wagner dishing to Reeves, and he's going to get fouled to leave the shot short. A host of thoroughbreds in the area.
Again, that one caused by DJ penetrating. This Kentucky team's got so many guards that have the ability to get by their defender, and the moment they do, especially if it's coming off penetration and kick out, if it's coming off rotation of the basketball, they can get in that lane, and the moment they do that, that defense is done.
There you see Antonio Reeves, the 66th man of the year. 37 points last year at Arkansas.
14 and a half points average last year. One of those players that tried to test the NBA waters. Definitely somebody Kentucky is happy to have back on this team with those 14 and a half points.
And shot nearly 40% from 3 last year.
and really kind of had a call earlier on the pregame show about Dillingham, whether he was going to come off the bench or whether we were better off with him starting, which ultimately doesn't matter. The players that are playing the best are going to get the minutes, and that's what matters the most. But just having that ability to penetrate in the lane and to get those defensive stops constantly. We've got so many players that can do that.
Foul was on Jordan Burks, his first. Kentucky has been whistled for 6 fouls in this half, 7 on Kentucky State. Edwards with the rebound. Shot clock's off, final possession. It would appear for Kentucky and for the half. Wagner's got it. Finds Edwards across the free throw line. Sheppard, the corner. Short. 3 seconds left. And the Thoroughbreds get one last heave. That's off the window. 30-point lead for the Wildcats at halftime. The offense rolling, shooting 56% in this first half. Big game for the Cats on Saturday night, but here at Rupp Arena tonight, the Kentucky offense was on display, shooting 56% in the first half, scoring 50 points. And there you see some of the highlights. Edwards and Wagner, 22 points. Points in the paint. Cameron Mills, 32 for Kentucky. They wanted to attack the rim, and they've done so.
And then again, the assist-to-turnover ratio, 14-0. Exactly what Cal wanted, attacking the rim, being aggressive. And then back to the Georgetown game, Mitchell, Reeves, Thiero, 22 points, 58%. The freshmen tonight, 28%, 57%. So somewhat of a reversal, but exactly what Cal's wanting from those young players to step up their game and improve.
What does it say about a team when you look at numbers like that versus what they were at Georgetown, Cameron, when all of a sudden this is a team that any one night a person could beat you? That's hard to scout.
Exactly right. That's the one thing. When you have a team that anybody in this rotation could go off for 30 points at any particular night, how do you scout that? Who do you prepare for? Who's the one guy that's got the 30-minute film tape on him that, all right, we got to watch every move this guy makes to prepare for him? How do you do that for this Kentucky team if they're all bouncing the way they are tonight?
I know one of your keys coming into tonight was seeing Kentucky play a full 40. They're up 50-20 at halftime. What do you want to see in these next 20 minutes against Kentucky State?
Well, this is where things get harder now, right? Because the game is somewhat out of hand. It's not over, somewhat out of hand though, but can Kentucky continue to play with that same intensity we saw in the first 20 minutes?
And the Thoroughbreds will open up with the basketball. There's a nice drive to the 10 by Owens to start it off.
Exactly what K-State needed. Let's get a quick 2, an easy 2. Let's go.
Wagner and Thiero team up. Here's Reeves across the free throw line, dishing to Edwards, driving baseline, and he says hello.
A great backdoor move by Edwards that time. Saw his man eyeing the ball a little too much, and he went backdoor. The passing on this Kentucky team has just been phenomenal tonight.
That's 15 assists for the Wildcats now. And Wagner tried to go high for the rebound, but it's deflected, and Owens has it. And now Reeves comes up with a missed shot. Edwards looks comfortable tonight with the basketball, doesn't he? Even without the basketball. And one thing we'll talk about in this second half, as good as Kentucky looks tonight. Here's Wagner open. Couldn't get that one to fall, but Edwards didn't give up on the play.
Again, you see more deflections even on that end.
Go back to that dunk. Nice feed.
Just a great pass. Again, everybody on this team, this Kentucky team, can pass the ball so well. You talked about Trey Mitchell and his passing abilities earlier. I mean, everyone, the guards, the forwards.
But what I was going to say is, finishing the thought on the elephant in the room right now, is as well as Kentucky has played tonight, here's another steal and a run out. Wagner to Reeves, the trailer. Boy, that's rhythm, isn't it?
And it's also unselfish play by DJ Wagner. DJ's playing a great game tonight. Found the hot man, knew, all right, this guy can hit threes. I'm going to get him the ball.
The elephant in the room for Kentucky is, as well as they're playing, You still got those 3 bigs that Kentucky's got to have back, and we'll talk about that a little more here in the second half. But these guards, this lineup that Cal has had on the floor tonight, Coach Calipari has played very well. Thiero. Reeves wants another one. Oh, he's got a hot hand.
Just how many passes did we see in that possession from this Kentucky basketball team?
17 assists now. 57% shooting by the Cats tonight.
Yeah, another deflection. DJ Wagner with active hands.
There's some more of those Antonio Reeves threes.
And watch how deep this one is.
That one was from near City Center in downtown Lexington.
Good 4 or 5 feet from behind the line, and the line's even extended from what it used to be.
Do you like that in today's game that they've extended that line? Made it just a little bit harder for shooters.
I'm a traditionalist. I hate any changes.
Understand. Shot clock violation, Wagner's defense.
So Kentucky up 58-22 coming out into the second half, and yet we still see the same intensity on both ends. And selfishness on the offensive end, the defensive intensity, the rebounding, the deflections, the steals, leading to turnovers and leading to easy points on the break.
That's an amazing stat that we just shown. 8 turnovers for Kentucky State, none for the Wildcats. Wagner wants one. Strong. Nice teamwork on the rebound between Mitchell and Thiero.
And great job by Trey to tip the ball to himself. So many guys, I mean, coaches want, go up and get it with 2 hands, but if you can't, you're going to be over the back. Go up with one, tip it to yourself, and then go grab it. Trey tipped it, and Thiero grabbed it. That is a ridiculous stat, 0 turnovers.
I've never seen anything like it, even in an exhibition game.
Might need to get our production crew on what the record, if there has ever been.
Well, the record would be 0.
Well, right, but is there a chance to tie that record? And is that a record?
Hey, there's the Mitchell we know. Steps out and buries one. He's got 9 points, his first 3 of the night. Mitchell was such a huge pickup in the portal for this Kentucky team. I don't think you can underscore his value with the way, as we've talked about, he's a connector. Let's go back and look at the way he steps out. Look at this big man.
I mean, the scout's going to tell you he's going to shoot, but even though he's guarding, I mean, K-State's 5's guarding him. I mean, that's where he is. So your 5s aren't used to going out and guarding another 5 and giving him respect from behind the 3-point line. But with Trey Mitchell, you've got to do that.
6'9", 231, stepping out to shoot a 3.
And the one player that all of these players say they look at right now as far as that's our leader, right? And there will be several leaders on this Kentucky team, but that's the one that they all look at as far as seniority. And he's brand new to the team.
The foul is on Miller. That's his second and the team's 3rd.
Going into halftime, you and I walked back into the backside here of Rep Arena. Saw Coach Jackson Dr. Jackson from K-State back there just by himself, hand kind of on the chin, just giving it a lot of thought as to what he needed to tell his team at halftime.
Wagner's going to pull the trigger. Thiero with the rebound. Here he goes on the attack. And that one was partially blocked, but there was a reason. A lot of contact and a collision under the rim.
The foul is on Brooks.
And it's on Brooks.
Brooks must have fouled with the body because that looked like a clean block up top. I do like the way Thiero, though, drove that ball. I mean, he had the 3, he can shoot the 3, but he drove the ball, forced the foul.
Thiero at the line for 2.
Knowing that for now, guys like Edwards, Thiero, and Mitchell have got to play the inside, the 4s and the 5s. How have they measured up tonight?
Well, it's hard to say anything negative really right now, but the part that I like for them is that, okay, there are 3 bigs that hopefully Kentucky will get back at some point this year. But right now, these are guys that are getting reps at the 4 and the 5. Who's to say there's not going to be another injury as we get down towards February and March? Maybe Trey has to start playing the 4 and 5 again. These are important minutes.
I mean, just think about right now, Kentucky is missing 21 feet inside with 3 guys out of the lineup right now. They're hoping that, you know, maybe Zvonimir Ivisic can get into the lineup pretty soon, because right now, as we understand it from Coach Calipari, it's mostly just tape and NCAA approval to get him on the floor. Red tape, I should say.
Yeah, I think it's just eligibility as far as NCAA. He just got here as a student, so every student that you enroll, you got to go through the certain paperwork for the NCAA to get cleared to play in athletics.
Mitchell just gave Kentucky 5 players in double figures as he makes his second three-pointer. They're led by Reeves with 13. Balanced scoring tonight for Kentucky.
Basket by Crowley.
Great baby hook shot there by Crowley.
Mitchell's hit 2 in a row. Why not try it again?
See how much respect he's getting.
There he is.
Okay.
Oh, you got to be kidding me now.
And at this point, 3 in a row, if I'm a guard on this Kentucky team, or if I'm one of the other 4 players on the court, I'm finding him. I'm running things for him. I'm getting the ball into the hot hand.
The second half, after the freshmen shined in the first half, the second half has turned into the Trey Mitchell show with trio of Treys. A fadeaway shot that goes for Crawley.
Like Crawley, great little big man, little dipsy doodle out on the 3-point line. Trying to get his team going.
It was more of a list than a fadeaway on that one. Mitchell, another one. Maybe a heat check. Thiero going strong.
And that's team basketball. Maybe not a great shot by Trey Mitchell, but a bailed out by Thiero. Look at him, giving him props right now.
Trey Mitchell's been the hot hand in the second half. How about you? 3 from deep. At last night's joint team dinner, George Raveling was able to talk to both the Thoroughbreds and the Wildcats.
2 of the greatest things that happened to me in my life to this day are being associated with this team. One of them is that we won the gold medal. If you're going to be a championship team, you got to be a team that cares about each other, that loves each other.
It's part of the Unity Series. There you see the team photos, both teams gathering together around Coach Raveling, who we had a chance to talk to in the first half tonight as part of the Unity Series. It's the 3rd edition of the Unity Series for the University of Kentucky. 2nd year in a row they've honored some legends, and there you see George Raveling with the 2 teams, and he talked about, to be a champion, you got to be a team that cares about each other.
And again, it's so important. I mean, that the wisdom that those young men, both teams, got last night. And to see the videos, all those faces that were locked in by every word that gentleman you see on the screen right now said, there's a lot of wisdom, and might be one of the wisest things he could have told a group of guys playing on a team is care about each other.
Thiero at the line shooting 2. He was fouled just before the break by Josiah Mitchell. This Unity Series very special to the Kentucky men's team and also head coach John Calipari. It's to help raise awareness of the missions of historically black colleges and universities, or HBCUs, and they also provide opportunities for students at both institutions. But last year I think it was Florida A&M that came to Lexington. This year Kentucky State a part of it, so just something that has continued to grow every year.
Absolutely, such a great thing too.
Yeah.
Love the t-shirts the guys, both teams warmed up in.
Black shirts with Unity on them, and the logo, I believe.
And both logos were on everybody's shirt. It's going to be interesting now. Again, 70-26, 14 minutes left to go in this game. As this game continues on like this, we talked about the turnovers. Can Kentucky keep that 40 minutes of focus, pressure, enthusiasm, aggressiveness going, so that, you know what, they don't get sloppy. They don't stop playing. If there's 40 minutes they're going to put together, even if they go deep on that bench, those guys that are going to come off that bench, they got to play with the same enthusiasm, same aggressiveness, and same focus.
Yeah, Reed Sheppard coming back into the game for the Cats as Wagner gets a break.
The full court pressure from K-State.
Trey Mitchell leading Kentucky with 15 points, 5 players in double figures for the Cats tonight. Balanced scoring, and the ball has stayed moving constantly. Here's Dillingham.
Dillingham always seems to know where the rim is. I mean, he got lost under it, but knew exactly where it was without even looking. Just kind of put it up where it should go off that backboard.
And he made that look easy. If I tried that same move, Cameron, I think I'd throw my back out.
Look, I played on this level, and I couldn't have done it when I played.
Got a whistle away from the basketball there.
Mitchell.
Yeah. I think they got him for the wraparound.
I think he was saying Crawley was wrapping around him. I've never seen a player look at an official and say, yeah, this is what I was doing. This is exactly what I was doing. Usually this is what he was doing.
Right. Well, Kentucky's defense has been smothering this evening.
Another deflection right there by Sheppard. Hey, look, deflection, that one didn't turn into a turnover, but let me tell you what it does do. It frustrates K-State. It frustrates them because they don't think they can initiate their offense. They can't make those seemingly simple passes because somebody's going to get a hand on it.
Crawley unable to get that one to fall. Here comes Kentucky, and check this out. Fewest turnovers in the Calipari era, just 2 versus Vanderbilt back in 2021. Pop and drop, but couldn't get it to fall.
And if the Cats are able to hold on to that 0 turnover stat, it won't count. This is an exhibition.
That's right. That's the shame of it.
Something sad about that to me.
Yeah. Edwards. Boy, they're all stepping out.
Completely different than the Georgetown game. Second half obviously was better, but just the whole game for two halves now, this Kentucky team has played like a team that's been playing a full season instead of 2 games.
Cats are shooting 57%. That was the first 3 for Edwards. Yeah, in the back of my mind, talking about these turnovers, as that ball's deflected.
Yep.
Talking about these turnovers, I feel like it's almost like a baseball no-hitter. Should we talk about it?
Oh, well, see, baseball people are a lot
jinx.
more superstitious than basketball players. I can't even think of one superstition we have in this sport.
Really?
I can't now. I'm not saying there's not one. I'm just saying I can't now. No.
No lucky socks.
No lucky socks.
No lucky undershirt or shooting shirt.
Another deflection by Reed. Sheppard.
Picked up by Edwards. Sheppard on the drive. Oh, nice move. Well, they tried to get it inside. Kentucky leads 77-28. We're under 12 here at Rupp. Cats with a 77-28 advantage over K-State in their final preseason exhibition game before the regular season arrives. Let's take a look at some of these exhibition games around the country because we've seen some surprises. Vols winning in a thriller at Michigan State. You've got Arkansas toppling Purdue, and then obviously the talk of the Commonwealth has been Kentucky Wesleyan knocking off Louisville. Second straight year the Cardinals have lost an exhibition game, but here.
It's odd looking at this graphic, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Louisville, Kentucky Wesleyan, that makes sense, right? The other 3 games for an exhibition seems odd.
I was going to ask you, what do you think about teams playing some marquee matchups because they don't count? So it's a chance for maybe Michigan State's fans to see a top 10 Tennessee team at home.
Well, I do like that, and definitely that's something I know the Kentucky fans would appreciate. But here's the other thing. These games, on some level, you want them to be easy because you're working everything out. I mean, this is only the second time these Cats and the K-State has played someone other than their teammate. So you want them, you want to have those opportunities if you're Kentucky to have maybe an easy game to kind of work some stuff out, and then you get into the season. But I like the idea because, again, even though I'm a traditionalist, it's different. I like it because it's different.
I think it would be easier to sell all the programs if you added a third exhibition game and be like, hey, play one big, like maybe showcase game, and then you can play 2 more where you want to work on some things. I don't know. I'm just throwing ideas out there.
I would guess that there would have to be an NCAA rule change to get a third exhibition
game. You would have
in,
to,
but
yes.
I'm guessing at that. There's usually an NCAA rule.
But, thinking about Kentucky, they've got some marquee names coming to Rupp this year. Gonzaga coming, and that's in the middle of SEC play.
It's usually that Kansas game that Kentucky plays, whether it's here or in Fog Allen and Lawrence, where right in the middle of SEC play.
Yeah, Kentucky's got some tough non-conference games this year, as they typically do. Coach Calipari likes to play a challenging schedule with a lot of neutral site games.
Yes, and those are the things I love because, look, everything is, bottom line, you want to play. So New Mexico State, Texas A&M Commerce, the game's coming up. Kansas, November 14th, Stonehill, St. Joseph. St. Joseph, a former great team, not sure where they are today, but then you mentioned Gonzaga. Louisville, look, I don't care where Louisville is, that's always going to be one the Cats need to watch out for. North Carolina, Kansas, Miami. I mean, I love difficult schedules because the whole point of the regular season is to prepare you for March. SEC tournament for Kentucky, NCAA tournament, that's what the regular season is. It's basically exhibition for what really matters, which is the NCAA tournament, because they don't crown national champion now, they crown them in April.
And I really like that they have created the ACC-SEC Challenge this year, because that means eventually we are going to get Kentucky going to Duke, and we're going to get a team like North Carolina coming to Rupp Arena here in Lexington. We're going to get some major matchups. And, hey, this year they may not have the cachet of a Duke or North Carolina, but that Miami team coming to Rupp is really good.
Amazingly well coached as well.
And it looks like Kentucky might have just had, their first turnover. Now we've got a whistle.
Well,
and
again,
a foul.
It wouldn't have counted.
No.
Exhibition.
But still, you made it nearly halfway through the second half before the first one.
And definitely something Coach Cal can build on. I mean, no matter how many it winds up being, Coach Cal will be in that locker room bringing that stat up.
Hey, guys, we had one turnover. We got to cut down on those.
Look, they only had 12 against Georgetown. So to have so far just one with 10 minutes left to go in this game, and I don't care who you're playing. I don't care if it's exhibition, especially at the pace the Cats have played. That's impressive.
Thiero shooting. Get it. The Wildcats tonight are 11 of 13 at the free throw line, and there's Sheppard waiting on reinforcements now. Dillingham driving, dishing. We got to push.
Jordan Burks caused that turnover by K-State and then wanted that ball, and the low post was calling for it, and Dillingham rewarded him.
Burks at the line for 1 and the bonus.
I love it when you see a big man in the low post and they are screaming at their teammates, give me the ball.
Wildcats have missed a couple at the stripe now, 11 out of 14. And that was to no one in particular, and look out. They call it the eruption zone for a reason.
The great, again, unselfishness by DJ Wagner.
There's an open three from Azeel Blackwell, a sophomore from right here in Lexington, went to Henry Clay High School. Now Burks on the other end with the slam.
Starting to turn into a bit of an all-star show here.
Under 10.
Turnovers and dunks. Still Kentucky playing with that aggressiveness and high intensity, though.
Basket by Brewer.
It's a tough shot in the lane for Brewer. Dillingham launches, too strong. That rebound controlled by Cross. Nice job by Sheppard to block that shot. Got a foul, it looks like, on Dillingham. Let's take a look at those 2 slams.
The foul is on Dillingham. That's his second and the team's fourth.
Just DJ Wagner being unselfish, and then again, Jordan Burks. Always reward the big man when he runs.
Brewer at the line.
Scale of 1 to 5, how would you rate those?
Those dunks?
Those dunks, yeah.
I've dunked twice in my life. I'm really not the best
So
person to
5s?
ask. Yeah, I guess I'd have to say 5s. I dunked it at Big Blue Madness senior year. Got a nice picture of that because it's the only one I ever had.
But the crowd loved it, though.
All my teammates are laughing in the background. It's infuriating.
Checking in for Kentucky State is number 20, Joseph Muller.
Yeah, your phone will probably start blowing up on that comment.
What?
The fact that your teammates were laughing.
They were. I've got it in a picture. They're all laughing. They're in the layup line, and I just thought, all right, I'm going to go try to dunk one. Threw it down, and everybody's laughing. I'm like, come on. I don't laugh at your all's dunks. Had 2.
Yeah, we've got a whistle and a banged up player under the basket. Looks like he got popped in the mouth.
How's that, Crawley? I think it's Khalif Crawley Jr.
They'll help him up.
Yeah, looks like he's bleeding,
That's,
bleeding from the mouth.
Josh Cross. That's
Oh,
Cross.
thank you.
Yeah, junior out of Orlando, Florida. A transfer from Florida Gateway College. Let's take a look and see if we can see.
As Antonio
Maybe on
went
the
up,
shot.
got an elbow or a shoulder right in the mouth.
Mitchell. Reeves.
Looks like he's okay.
Wildcats bring Joey Hart, a freshman from Linton, Indiana, into the game. Also returned Reeves and Mitchell. Edwards and Sheppard round out the 5 for the Wildcats. There you see Hart and Sheppard. Joey Hart brought the fans to their feet at Big Blue Madness with a dunk. We've been talking about these Wildcats knocking down some slams. They got to finish cleaning up some of the fluid on the court down here. Wildcats with an 82-36 lead. Kentucky, let's talk about this a little bit while we have a moment, because Kentucky might just be an underdog, or in this case an undercat, going into this season, because they were picked 4th in the SEC preseason poll. And a lot of that is because of all the freshmen that Coach Calipari's brought in. This league is an older league this year. Tennessee was picked to win it for the first time in several years.
And if I'm a Kentucky player, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I want to be ranked as low as possible because that gives me the ease of playing with a chip on my shoulder.
And the Wildcats ranked number 16 in the AP poll. Here's Sheppard. Sheppard's going to launch. Couldn't get it to roll. Rebound Daughtry, or Daughtry rather. Thoroughbreds on a 6-0 run. Final 8:15 to this one. Here's Reeves.
And you see just the intelligence and the wisdom of the senior to not try to force anything and go up and take the easy basket, use the bank shot on the run. Nice little runner by Reeves that time.
Edwards, Mitchell, and Reeves have combined for 45 points tonight. Three-pointer short by Cordell Livingston, a freshman from Akron. They've got it to Blackwell, who fires. No good.
Kentucky State.
Just 7:37 left in this one at Rupp. Kentucky with an 84-38 lead. Yesterday, college basketball lost an icon as the general Bob Knight passed away at the age of 83. And there you see just some of the accolades he accomplished over his time as the head coach at Indiana and other stops, 902 career wins. The last men's basketball D1 team to go undefeated, the 1976 Indiana Hoosiers, and 15 wins versus Kentucky. I mean, the list goes on and on. Coach Calipari offered his thoughts and remembered Bob Knight in a tweet last night, thinking about Coach Knight and the Knight family and the Indiana family following his passing. But a very complex individual, but there's no doubt, Cameron Mills, he was one heck of a basketball coach.
I mean, his coaching tree straight to Krzyzewski, what kind of career he had. But yeah, Coach Knight, just a phenomenal coach. A lot of intensity, and expected a lot from his players, but no doubt he knew this game and knew how to coach this game and motivate his players.
We've heard all day long some stories. Goose Givens, Jack Givens, who's the analyst for the UK Sports Network, just to your right, told us a really great story about when he was a freshman playing at Assembly Hall. Indiana beat Kentucky pretty good, and Joby Hall and Bob Knight got into it at half court. But you also, I believe, had a chance to play against the Bob Knight coach team.
I played against Bobby Knight 4 times. Fortunately, I played for some very good teams at Kentucky that were 4-0 against Coach Knight, but just having that memory, I mean, having photographs of Tubby Smith and Coach Knight shaking hands at the beginning of the game. I didn't shake Coach Knight's hand that I remember, but just having that photograph in my head, it's like, wow, I played against Bobby Knight. It's a cool memory.
And I just still am awed by the fact that he had a Hoosier team go undefeated in 1976 and win a national championship. We know how agonizingly close Kentucky has come to achieving the same feat. That just underscores how incredibly difficult that achievement is.
There's a reason it hasn't happened in 50 years. And that's because, look, losses are motivators. Losses are how coaches get their team's attention. You can preach all day about, hey, guys, we're not rebounding. The moment you lose a game because you're not rebounding, all of a sudden you start rebounding. So losses are great motivators, but to keep a team motivated for a whole season with no hiccups is amazing.
Nice block at the rim there, and Kentucky's on the run. Here's Edwards going to the rack and finishing with a
great ball handling by Edwards that time. In and out, weaving and dodging defenders, and all the way to the basket.
Cats 88-38. Launching that three and connecting is Nick Cross, a junior out of Orlando.
6 minutes left. We're going to start seeing, I believe, K-State shooting some, what would usually be some ill-advised threes. Kentucky's got to get out there and respect those and get hands in the face.
Reed Sheppard responds.
Reed's such a great shooter and so quick with the ball.
He's got 4 points tonight on 2 of 4 shooting. Back and forth pickup game between these two clubs, but Kentucky's still moving the ball well offensively. Edwards can't connect from deep. Yeah, Kentucky has had good chemistry offensively tonight. It's almost as if this team is already kind of reading each other's thoughts about where they want to be and get it to.
And that's what they talked about preseason. 2A man, they all mentioned how close they were and how much they just get along. They truly care about each other, and it's showing on the court.
Now it's going to be, how does that translate when it's going opposite Kansas, North Carolina, Miami, Gonzaga, and a very difficult SEC slate. In fact, I'll just go ahead and say it. The SEC this year might get between 8 to 10 teams in the NCAA tournament. I believe they start the preseason with 5 ranked. Sheppard with another rebound. And Kentucky number 16 in the AP poll.
Reed Sheppard taking advantage of those little drive penetrations and pull-up jumpers. What they used to say, the lost art of the short-range jump shot.
Now Kentucky begins to clear the bench a little more.
Well, you're starting to see the players, the Kentucky players that are in right now, you don't see the intensity necessarily. And look, I understand. Game's out of hand, 95-43 with 4 minutes left to go, but you're not seeing the focus that we saw early in this game, or even early in this half.
Blocked by Kentucky, and here's Sheppard. He's got numbers. Sheppard lobs. Reeves can't finish.
I believe Coach Calipari would like to tell Antonio to grab that ball with 2 hands.
Now we've got a foul. That'll bring us to our final timeout here at Rupp Arena. This one well in hand for Kentucky as they lead 95-43. Cats on top of the Thoroughbreds with 3:37 left. Always one of the most impressive sights at Rupp Arena. There you see the preseason AP poll. We've been talking about that here in the second half. Kansas number 1, Duke 2. There you see Tennessee number 9. FAU poised for another big run. They come in at number 10 in the preseason poll.
2 words on that graph that bother me. Preseason poll.
Okay.
Just garbage.
Why?
How do we know? Let me tell you, the only poll that matters, it comes out typically around April 6th in college basketball. It's the only one that matters. Everything else is nonsense and garbage.
But it gives us stuff to talk about.
Look, I'm a former player. Nobody handed out rings for being preseason number 1.
I understand. But it could give you a glimpse of what teams could look like going into this year.
It could, but I guarantee you it's going to change 1,000 times.
Yeah, it'll change.
And if they had it right the first time, why would they need to change it, Darren? Huh?
I just like getting you fired up.
Well, that gets me fired up. The only thing more so than that in college basketball gets me fired up is preseason awards, which really might be the dumbest thing in our world.
Well, I'll tell you what, next time we work a game together, we'll do an updated AP poll, and you can show the comparison
right.
of the changes.
Yeah. Look, you all remember the K-State game?
Hey, speaking of awards, check this out. Justin Edwards, the Julius Erving Award watch list for the top small forwards.
Watch list is fair,
Yeah.
right? I don't mind the watch list. The watch lists are okay. They're saying this kid could, right? The AP preseason player of the year, the SEC preseason player of the year. What the heck is that nonsense?
Wholesale changes for Kentucky. Grant Derbyshire's into the game along with Brennan Canada and Walker Horn. They got Kareem Watkins in there as well. And Burks, the 5th man. Canada going for the rebound. Oh, his team wanted that putback.
Well, he's going to get 2 foul shots, but
Yeah.
give Jordan Burks the credit for that one. Great job of driving on that low post, lifting the ball over his defender's head to wrap it to the other side so he could get to the glass. And Canada in the right place at the right time, crashing those boards. He's going to be rewarded with a couple foul shots. You mentioned the bench. Got to love watching that happen too. I mean, you mentioned earlier the Kentucky bench cheering for the guys that were playing in the first half. It's always fun to watch them erupt for the guys that don't get a lot of playing time and truly want them to do well.
Canada got his first point, give him 2. Now, and there you see the preseason All-SEC first team. Justin Edwards a part of that. Wade Taylor, the 4th out of Texas A&M, was voted the preseason player of the year.
I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm going to be fired up about this. It's silly.
Oh, the crowd wanted him to shoot it.
Yep. I like that Walker didn't, though. I mean, look, he's in. He knows these are rare minutes, but he's going to play the game the way it should be played. Guarantee it's how his dad would want him doing it. He'll get in there and start jacking up shots. Get in there and play the game plan.
Watkins had the tip, but the Thoroughbreds hang on to it. Here's a long 3, no good by Cross. That's Josh Cross. And the jumper good for Blackwell.
A couple of offensive rebounds that time for K-State. Again, got some guys who get rare minutes out on the court right now, but they've got to keep playing.
97-45. We're under 90 seconds. Burks in the lane. Tried to find Derbyshire.
I like Derbyshire's cut that time. Burks driving that from the elbow down. Derbyshire not standing still, waiting to see what his teammate's doing. He's going to hit that baseline, go back door. Burks almost got him.
That's 5 turnovers for Kentucky in the game now.
Well, still pretty impressive.
Yeah. Still won't count.
It'll count in that locker room and that next practice and that next film session. But you're right, it won't count. But you know what apparently does count? SEC preseason player of the year. Yeah, apparently that counts.
It was a nice finish by Josiah Mitchell to the contact that time, but he can't get the free throw. But here's an offensive rebound. And Morgan Brewer finishes the play. 1 minute to go.
That's just fundamental by the Cats. Got to block. I mean, that's just free throw blocking out. Got to put your body on the man and keep him off the glass.
Now the fans want these young men to get some points as Watkins is fouled on the drive. I was about to say they're starting to run out of chances.
I like the way this Kentucky team that's on the court right now is playing, though, because you see a lot of the bench guys, one of which I used to be, right? They get in the game, 90 seconds left, the game's out of hand. The crowd starts cheering for them the moment they touch the ball, even if they're 50 feet from the basket to shoot the ball. And yet you've seen these guys, these Kentucky players out there on the court right now, they're playing within the offense. They're not forcing anything. Missed a couple blockouts, a couple defensive assignments, but offensively not jacking threes. They're just playing within the offense and doing exactly what the starters would be doing.
Watkins can't get the 2 free throws to fall. 45 seconds to go. Josh Cross on the dribble. There's a handoff to Miller, who wants it. Not able to connect. Burks with a rebound. Here come the Cats. Right corner 3, short. Some athleticism there, but Mitchell unable to finish. Here's Horn across the lane to Burks, and that'll put an exclamation point on this one.
Great no look by Walker Horn. And again, unselfishness.
And we got a bump foul with 11 seconds left in the game. Well, the Kentucky fans that are still here, even though this is an exhibition game, they want that triple digit. They want that third number up there, 99 to 49.
Imagine the players on the court might want it too. See if Cal just lets him play, or if he's going to call something special to try to get it. I'm going to guess they might just run the clock out. As much as it matters to the fans, as nice as it looks on the scoreboard, head coach always has other things to worry about.
Okay. 99-50, 11.2 to go. And Kentucky's going to dribble out the clock. The fans are wanting them to go, but here's a steal. And one more point.
K-State wasn't going to let him dribble out the clock, though. That was the problem.
They're not going to shoot it, and that's going to do it. 99-53, the final as Kentucky closes out their preseason exhibition schedule. Cameron Mills, what are some things that shine for you tonight in this win for the Cavs?
Well, everything you and I talked about this afternoon at walkthrough, everything, I mean, they did everything Coach Cal wanted them to do, it seemed like. I mean, the turnover thing, we obviously made a big deal out of that. I think what they finished with maybe 6. Still an amazing stat, even though it doesn't count. But you saw the talking, you saw the aggressiveness. They didn't settle for 6 threes right off the bat, right? There's penetration, there's aggressiveness, and that led to the easy baskets. And then on the defensive end, just constantly chattering, constantly talking, and constantly helping, playing great team defense. Somebody gets beat on the perimeter, you got a teammate backing you up.
Freshmen got the tone set early in the game, and the veterans had a big second half, 5 in double figures for the Wildcats. For Cameron Mills and our entire broadcast crew, I'm Darren Hedrick. Thanks for being with us tonight here on the SEC Network and Watch ESPN app. Good night from Lexington.